I have Shaddolls for you, Tellarknights, and even Archfiends. You guys smash the link, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on kind of. There are a lot of really cool decks that I've seen been popping up with the release of Terminal World. One of them has been a interesting, refreshing look at Shaddolls. You know, Lev Shaddoll Fusion does lock you into Shaddoll, but you can still play Shaddoll cards. You can still navigate underneath this stuff, and you're not going to have any, real punishing downsides. Now, obviously, turning your Shaddoll Fusion into a dump 3 with facilitating Grista here to allow you extra fusion summons, it is, I think, one of the cooler decks that I have seen coming out here and actually working out. And of course, you're using Void Liberation here. It's one of those cards because, getting a free ad off of the Infernoid Evil being sent off of the left Shaddoll Fusion just got a free real estate. So Shaddolls, I think, at least in terms of this build, is looking pretty solid. Next up here, we have Tellarknights. Now, in terms of the new stuff, you're playing the new caster as a 3-up, and you're playing the triple copies of the Satellar Nova Bonds as a 3-up. That's as far as you're going in the main deck. Now, down here in the side deck, 1 Omega 7 with 2 copies of the Constellar Deltaros, just to be able to kind of turbo things out. You are going to notice, even with 7 Tachyon limited here, and its capacity, you're still going to notice that there are going to be versions. You're still going to choose to play this, right? Because, you reveal C104, or excuse me, you reveal regular 104. You're basically able to toggle into any bits and pieces that you need. I even notice here, you are choosing to play some of the old Tellarknights here, just to be able to facilitate some combo lines. So I do kind of like that, actually. It does seem pretty strong. And of course, we do get to see, yes, you're going as far as to play the 1 Sombre. So really, really cool to see. Next up is our Archfiend deck. Yeah, the reason why I chose to see this is because you get to see Archfiend Emperor in here, but you also get to see the new Royal Archfiend doing its thing. Now, you are going to notice we're only playing 2 copies of the new Doom Emperor. While this stuff is kind of cool, you have to play a crap ton of, bad cards to go with this. Case in point, we're playing the Axe of Despair. You got the Falling Downs in here, and honestly, having Falling Down being a tool in here, because as far as I remember, you just get to go ahead and, start stealing stuff from your opponent on an equipped spell. That seemed kind of cool. I really, really wish that Falling Down counted as a, Archfiend card, but unless, you don't really get that sort of toolbox inclusion in here. But really cool to see some little tools like this coming together for this deck. Next up here, what in the world is this? This is, so there's this little tournament called the Just This Cup, where they basically play, not necessarily good decks, but it's slowed down Yu-Gi-Oh! To the point that, we can kind of have fun. I do see we're playing Shining Angel to toggle into the Maiden of Love. What is this? This card, battle an opponent's monster, you activate one of these effects, place a maiden counter on one face of monster, or take control of an opponent's monster with a maiden counter. That's a permanent control. And also, monsters your opponent controls must attack. So we're kind of using some of this interesting little illusion stuff kind of built into this deck, kind of facilitate some of this this control. Also see, obviously, you're going to have the Vanity's Fiend in here. This is just going to be another one of those options to deploy the jamming lock on your opponent so they can't actually progress and play the game. But, Waboku plus Maiden in Love is a very, very off-the-wall counter. Next up here, we have some Assault mode. Now, I do see that this build is choosing to actually play the Red Dragon Archfiend Assault mode. This is just a free board wipe. That would be the only reason I would actively look at playing this, because, you can also cheat it off of the Scarlight Red Dragon, because it's basically counting as that. But I don't necessarily think that this card's too good. Obviously, the things I care about here are going to be the Stardust Assault modes and the TG Halberd Cannon. I also do see, funny enough, this list is choosing to play, Vylon Prisms in the Goblinbergs here to basically suit up and get into, the level 8. Surprisingly enough, we're only playing one of the Priestess, which feels a little bit weird to me. I feel like you want this card to be popping up because it just feels like one of the most important pieces to this deck's game progression, but they're just not exploring that. Interesting. Next up for this tournament was also Penguins. Now, I do want to tell you, like, this is not going to be the most competitive Penguin deck in the world, but it's funny just to kind of see, you know, what's going on in somebody's mind, you know. Why are we making the choices that we're making with the Penguin stuff? Obviously, first Penguin just gives you so much to be working with. I think this card is one of the best little facilitators. Obviously, you know, getting the Great Emperor Penguin up and running, kind of running from there. Yeah, this card really does feel strong for what it's meant to do, but sometimes, you know, I kind of feel like the little penguin guy does feel a little bit off. You also notice, I mean, we're playing Transmodify. We have Phoenix Wing Blast. We got a lot of, I'm going to say off-the-wall cards, and we're also freaking playing the Penguin Sword. Yep, you know, it's a good day when the Sword of the Penguin is coming to town. Next up is another Herakti Turbo deck. Now, surprisingly enough to me, they managed to get all of this jam-packed in here on just a 40-card variant. The last version of this deck that I saw popping up was really trying to play this game on like 60 cards, and you had to go through like so many bells and whistles to pull it off. Now, obviously, I mean, you're going to be able to set up multiple bodies. You know, Fairy Tale Snub is going to be a great facilitator for that. Obviously, Vingolf's Blessing's entire job is to get you into, you know, whatever little combo line bits and pieces you go. Net Prim is definitely going to be the glue that holds this combo line together for what you're looking at. But, you know, for the Egyptian god good stuff, as we're calling this, you know, just to be able to deploy the Herakti, this deck's job has always just been turbo out the god as fast as possible and go from there. Next up, we have actual Dragunity for you. Now, one of the things I was challenged to find this week was how much Dragunity good stuff can we actually see within the deck development space. You know, right now, how can this deck turbo up and do its best thing? I do see Falchion and Quinarius here both being maximized here. Your extra deck, you're only playing one copy of Arius, but you're also playing the one copy of Georgius. Georgius is a very funny card, acting as a, you know, you need to include a tuner monster in order to poop this thing out, but this card graciously improves the overall game plan for what you're going for. Also, case in point here, you know, you're playing super big turbo synchros now. So Crimson Dragon's going to be one of those excellent choices to be bumping this deck up in terms of its consistency, and it does it very, very well. Next up here, we have the Archlord Christia descends onto the battlefield. You know, I love the fact that in comparison to like the way Archlord interacts with the Dark Lords, this has always just been the good and the bad. Now, you do see we are playing the Gem Knight stuff in here. I think that this is just kind of something you have to deal with at this point. Like the Gem Knight stuff, actually being fairy is very, very important for you to be building on the building blocks for this deck. You really just do not have a choice. Like if you're choosing to explore Dark Lords, I think the Gem Knight cards are going to be your best friend. They are great facilitators. I also do see we have the Celestial Transformation, but I mean, hey, free special from the deck or from the hand is incredible. I mean, yeah, it pops during the end phase, but that's fine. I wish this card ignored summoning conditions, but I mean, if I need to beam out an extra fairy or if I need to get this thing on the field, well, actually can't be special, so disregard that. You can toggle into some pretty good stuff. And then we have more Dark Lords. Holy crap, man. There you go. There's the good stuff. The Fallen and the Virtuous. You know, you're obviously going to play the one Morning Star because bypassing summoning material is absolute certain. Of course, you know, you're going to go triple extra because it's your draw package. You know, we're also playing, of course, one Rebellion, doing the one Dark Contact, but also, you know, the triple Banishment here. I mean, this is going to be your free search, man. Like, this card's job is just to make your deck go round, and usually it does it pretty well. But also, I think the Fallen and the Virtuous is a pretty strong indicator for kind of what you're going for with this deck. So, actually not too bad. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let's see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.